Hello traders, I want to introduce to you a new version. It's a massive update to One Setup for Life algo or strategy. It contains now twice as much code as it used to, so it's a massive update. It works with recent versions of NinjaTrader, and from the outset you will see that it's currently loaded. I have this panel that can display live session P&L or historical. I also moved these long buttons and short buttons to the on the bottom of here. You can enable or disable loans. Now let's go to the strategy settings. What we have here. So I think it's version 4.4 right now. It's a mistake. It's not 4.3. So this general settings is lets you pick a quantity for your base position. Then we're saying how many bars it's going to expire when we place the pending order. Um, Now this one tick tells you that price doesn't have to reach exact FVG. It could reach like one tick above or below FVG and it'll enter it. So I also introduced risk sizing. So you could specify, um, like if you enable it, it will take this logic right here. So like right here, we're saying since we're selecting base position and runner position, and we're also selecting risk and sizing here, so then it will take equal distribution. Well, actually, if it's unequal, like 6 and 5 or 5 and 6, it will take 6 on base and 5 on runner position. It will take max 10 contracts per position, base or per runner position. And we'll try to calculate that the risk will be this amount, 400 between these two positions. So that's what you say it here. And also if you're specifying 0 max risk in points, means it's not used. But if you want to use it, then you enter maybe, I don't know, 60, 50, 40 points, like that. So I'll need to disable the strategy. Yeah, let me do that. I was gonna show you that. So then we have risk reward, which is risk reward 1-to-1 for base position, let's say. I'm not usually using this fixed TP, but it has this 3 modes with it's either ATR or by fixed ticks. Um, Let me, oops. So then we have this stop. Now for base position, I don't use stop management because it's a base position, but I could. But for the strategy that I'm using, which is One Setup for Life, I use stop management for runner position. So with this settings, notice how it says trail to break even is checked, and also trail to pivot on base trail to pivots. So we're saying that okay, we're set up our base position will be 1-to-1 risk reward, so that's all nice. But runner, we're saying, well, we're gonna take 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. But as soon as first, as soon as base position hits take profit, we're saying move this stop loss of runner position to break even, and then once it starts going, you trail by trail pivots. So let me see. Let's just say we have an entry right here. No, it's not a good example. We don't see it here. Let's say we have entry somewhere right here. So base take profit here, and then the trail is gonna uh, trail by pivots is gonna use basically the pivot is like this is the pivot where you have a high, and then two, and then high to the low, and high to the left, and high to the right will be of lower highs. So this will be the pivot. I just want to say that how that works. So this way I find we secure our money the best possible way. So that's how it's working. But if you don't want to trail by pivots, you could just uncheck. See, you just uncheck it here and it'll stay at break even. Okay, so we're enable 1, 2, 3 signals, which is one setup for life. This is currently not working. It's in the progress, so don't check this yet. We're having a time filter. We're having enable FVG overlap filter, and I try to put descriptions here. But basically, if we have, let's say we have FVG, we have existing FVG here. And then if we have a FVG forming in a very close proximity, then we don't want to take it, let's say, or you just, um, let's say there is a big red FVG here in this amount right here. And then you have bullish FVG here. So, you will have to break through this existing mature FVG, and that's usually not a good idea. So we will avoid this bullish FVG here if it would have formed here. So that's what it's about. Yeah, and let me go back down to history. Oops. So okay, let's go on. I think it would be a good idea just to start it for now, and so I could show you as I go. Let's see if it's gonna open up settings. Okay, this is what I was gonna say about that maturity FVG. Like, see, no, I don't have a good example right here. But let's say FVG would have formed here, but we have existing FVG here, so that's why I try to, to spot those existing FVGs so it's not taken against those existing FVGs. So that's why we have this setting. Where the word was? Rejection proximity ticks. No, that was something else. Anyways, yeah, I'll point you where I find that setting. So let me close this. Runner position, we talked about it. Yes, rejection proximity ticks. So if you um, this actually, so we say within 30 ticks, if FVG is going to form within 30 ticks, like right here, it will um, block the trade. But for this to work, you'll need to enable Boolean. We have true or false here. Trying to find it. Anyways, it's well, well, actually no, there isn't Boolean, so that's all you have. So if you don't want to use it, then you just put 0, you know, in that setting. Like right here, you would just put yeah, you just put 0 here instead of 30. So we have a filter, time filter, that tells you when to trade. You could include a time period when to block the trade, and it only affects new entries. Now we have FVG overlap filter. Now I've added this ATR volatility filter, which the basic idea for this filter was to try to um, was attempt to filter out very flat periods basically. So I usually have it checked. Then we have a enable signal cooldown filter. It means it says if true prevents taking a new signal if a similar one occurred within last X bars. So what this is, it tells us, let me close this, that sometimes you may see a lot of FVGs forming in a very short space. Like see, we have FVG here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and within 8 bars we have another FVG. So, and usually if there is a lot of FVGs forming, it's kind of not clean price action, and you kind of want to avoid that. So that's what that setting is for. You were telling it to, we're going to filter out, we're like, we're telling, we don't want to see a same signal within 10 bars, like signal cooldown bars. Okay, then we have a filter EMA period. The idea of this filter was to uh, filter out a momentum filter. It was kind of a momentum idea. We're basically saying we're taking two EMAs, 14 and 1,000. Um, I just put it like put 1,000. You could put whatever number you want to have, and then we want the distance between them to be greater than 0.05, but less than 1.4. You could plot it yourself and see, uh, but basically when your EMA is overlapping, it tells you it just can go either way direction. So you usually want to avoid that when it's overlapping. But that's the idea of filter EMA. Now let's talk about this big one, the filter HTF, higher time frame. So here you specify which time frame you want to have as your filter, and it sorry, and it highly relies on this volume filter. So it's a custom volume indicator that comes with it, and it measures volume in its own way. So we are saying, well, we're gonna load the volume on 15-minute chart, and then we can check. Let's say, let me disable it. So we're saying, you know, if signal on our main chart, let's say it's 1/32, if signal is gonna if we're gonna have a signal on a primary chart, but we currently have uh, inside bar and HTF and higher time frame, then we're blocking it. But so in essence, um, basically by default, it'll trade higher inside bars. But if you want to avoid inside bars, you could just um, check it here. Then we're going to momentum gap filter. Basically, it tells you, hey, if we're looking at this histogram. Basically, we're saying like if it's 50%, and we're saying, hey, if there's a 50% jump on higher time frame, like let's say from here, see this bar and this bar, see how big of a difference this is, or from this bar to this bar. Right here it's 1.5, then jump here to 1.008. That's more than 50%. You could even see it. So if we have this more than 50%, avoid that filter. I mean, avoid that setup. Then we have filter minimum filter. Like, what if you just want to say for loans? You'll say, well, I want at least this histogram to read at least 0.025 for loans or minus 0.25 for shorts. But let's say you just want to avoid completely this zero line, whatever is close to it, then you would just enter here and select Boolean here and select the range that you want to completely avoid trades. Because usually zero line, you could have a good, it's just a battle line basically. That's what it is. I mean, the idea of it could be considered as a battle line. Now this one we're saying with HTML HTF momentum overextended. So we're saying that, hey, if histogram is reading more than 0.8, then we're not taking loans anymore. So that would be this filter. Then we're having double top, double bottom wick filter. Basically, we're saying it'll look for equal lows on higher time frame, and if this is within, I think would be 0.3, that would be somewhat equally low. But you can check it yourself. But if you don't want it, just don't check it. But then you also have let's see what else. Now what this filter is, it says enable HTF consecutive momentum filter, which basically tells us, well, let's run it. I think that's what I had before. So let's run it, and I will show you what that is. So basically we're looking at higher time frame and we want consecutive. See how um, consecutive move in the same direction. So this histogram moves in the same direction, like right here. Let me just see it. See, it entered um, on this bar at 6:43 on primary chart, and we can see 6:43 was, if you look at the 15-minute chart, we see that uh, basically I'm moving my cursor from this one to this one. We had um, so the histogram was going lower, so that's why it took that trade, because histogram on higher time frame goes lower, so it's like a um, momentum is increasing. But you could maybe filter it out. You see how it's reads 0.29. You could have filtered it out by 0.3, and it would have skipped that shade. But the idea of this is that higher time frame already shows us we are in the momentum of going lower, let's say. Okay, and then we're looking for a retracement on a smaller time frame. So that was the idea of it. Let's see if it's gonna give us another entry, and so you would understand how it works and the logic of it. It's actually pretty. I like the settings. Yeah, this is as you see, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Obviously, it's not taking this shade because our histogram and higher time frame is increasingly going lower and lower. So there's no way it's going to take long entry. So as you see, it's a powerful settings what it has. So let's see. So we have a long position now. Why did we have a long signal, right? But why did it take long here? Because if you look, the trade initiated at 12, exactly at 12. And if you look at histogram on 15-minute chart, you see how it already went from this minus 0.3 to this reading minus 0.2. So that tells us, hey, we on higher time frame we already uh, starting to accumulate long positions. I mean, our volume is going higher, but so and it tried, but then it still went a little bit further. But that's same thing here. See, it's at 12:09 because uh, yeah, it it takes a trade. So yeah, so that's that setting. And let's see what else I wanted to show here. So that's the setting, enable a consecutive momentum filter, and we have a let's just keep it going for now, and I could explain a little bit more here. So then these are self-explanatory. If you want to enable maximum daily profit or loss limit, you would set it here. And if you want to enable cooldown, you would say, hey, if base or take pro or runner executed its trade, then you want to wait at least 10 bars before taking another trade. You would now, since this is a complex strategy, the historical trades are not. There's just some issues with historical trades, so don't count on that. So show historical trades. It's probably gonna be inaccuracies here. I mean, I still need to work on it. So if you want to backtest it, your best choice would be do what I do, load market replay data and have it run like this. Okay, then these are signal card mode. These are pertains to execution. These are just for login information. If you don't want any logs, just don't have any logs. But if you want logs, you would just go to new and Ninja script output. It'll log you these settings. It'll log here of trades and executions. It depends on what you're gonna select. So let's just double check. So let's say this strategy, this setup, you know, happens on 7/16. It takes long trade, and if you are looking at higher time frame right here, we already shown the momentum, the volume is going up, but that's why it's considering this trade and it's going up. You know, that's what I'm saying. We on a higher time frame, we already shown signs of uh, volume going up, you know, momentum to the upside, and then we're just looking for a retracement on a smaller time frame. And this one was already uh, this one basically was the same setup, but it was a little bit too late in the cycle already. And remember, we put 10 bars for cooldown. It executed take profit right here. So then it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So uh, it already passed 10 bars after take profit, but it still took it. Well, it correctly took it because it passed 10 bars. If we would have put 20, it would not take that trade. If we would just select this runner TP cooldown, if we would have selected it to 20, it would not take this trade. So that's that. And this is how you configure these buttons right here. And your indicator settings, that's where I usually have them on 1 minute or 30 seconds. You could play around with 50 here or 40 here. I think I already have another video how to what it does. Basically, it's looking for 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? So let me find a clean example. We could say, where is the clean example that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, let's see. Let's play it on this one. So as you see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it's looking for FVG. Okay, so that's how you are that's how you're building up this indicator settings. So you're saying, hey, within 40 bars, look back period. Within 40 bars, you look for this pattern. you see equal highs, 1, 1, within um, the distance between 1 and 2. Let's say this is a 22715.5. This is high of this, high of this. The difference between high 1 and high 2 will be maximum of 50 ticks. And this is obviously this is more than that. I mean, this is way less than that. But this is what it is, and you want to specify, you want to have at least 7 bars between mark 1 and 2. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's passes. You want to have at least 2 bars between 2 and 3, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is important. Then you're saying, okay, I want to show long patterns and shorts right here. Then you want to say, hey, max bars between L3, which is 2FVG, will be at least maximum 8 bars. So this is within 8 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's within 8 bars. And maximum, let's see, and we're saying that maximum H2 to L3 will be 12 bars, less than 12 bars. So between this mark and 3 will be 12 bars or less. Now if you want to display all of FVGs, you could select it here, but I don't do that. So that's that. And now I want to show you another setting that I've added to this strategy. And basically it was inspired by this NQ stats. There's a guy on Twitter, on X, and he runs this statistical market edge. And basically his idea, if I understood it right, he was saying, hey, if basically he takes hourly bars, hourly candles, and he says, well, what if we have a bullish candle at, let's say, 9 o'clock a.m. engulfing bullish candle? Then highly the next bar that will be bullish is also will be of high probability within this time frame. So you could and he was saying that if it happens within 20 minutes, it's a very highly likelihood that price will continue in the same direction and it will try to make new higher highs. So that was that, and I think I ran it on 15 seconds. So the idea of it was, hey, what if we try to combine one setup for life with this hourly statistical edge. So let me show you how that works. I think it'll be easier. Now the reason why I selected 15 seconds because you obviously will have more FVGs here, but so let's try to run it so you will have better understanding. So we selected 60 minutes here, which is hourly, and 15 seconds here, so we could have um, we would most likely have a setup occurred rather than not occurred. So I think we specified the filter there as well, time filter, so we'll wait until 7 a.m. I think that's where it starts. But Yeah, as soon as it's gonna take a trade, I'll explain the settings and the logic behind it. Okay, so it took this short trade. Okay, it's a one setup for life, but short trade. Now you could have filtered it out, remember, with that proximity, because you would specify, hey, 96 and 95, so that's about 20 ticks. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, you could have filtered it out, but the idea of it is we're saying, hey, look at the hourly. So if we look at 60 minutes right now, we're like, see, I'm on, let's me move it like this. We are on 901 mark. So we're right here. And we're saying, see how we had a we had a bearish close, right? No, I'm sorry, it's right here. Yes, no, this is 9. Yeah, this is 9. We had a bearish bar. Obviously, it's a bearish. Yeah, it didn't consider the wick with current configuration, but the principle is there. We had a bearish bar. It closed on around 795, 22795 mark area, and we had the bearish FVG formed around this mark, right? We had a setup for life occurring at this price level. Yes, we didn't account for this wick, big wick. We can do that, I believe, but that was the idea. But let's look at another example. So the next trade, it took it took we're still on a 9-hour mark. So it took this trade because it's in um, we are still around this price levels where the bearish bar forms. So the the anticipation is, hey, we have made a bearish bar, big bearish bar. The highly likelihood it will try to move lower. We're still within this time frame according to the stats. You know, it's not always the case, but that's the idea behind it. And there are very good days. I've ran the statistics too. Yes, if it's high wicks, obviously you want to filter it out, but usually the price will want to come back to these levels. You know, see, we were here and it was the anticipation was that it would make another lower low. And yeah, I think there was gonna be more trades for this. Let's just run it for the day. See, there's just no one setup for live setups right here. Just very has very high momentum to go up. I mean to going down. Now it's reversing or what it's doing, but there's just no setups right here. Now see there was, let's see this bearish FVG. It's 1202. These are 12 mark. Now it didn't take this shade because we have this FVG, I believe. That's what it's not taking it. We have this FVG in place. And let's see. See, there was a trade right here, but it got expired after 8 bars. That's why there was no long trade. But why did it consider this long trade? Because at 13:11 mark, 1:11 p.m., right? We had at 1 o'clock we have this bar, and we are inside this wick area. See, so the anticipation is if we have FVG, if we have setup for life somewhere in this area, because we made significant high, we're closing above this bar. If we have FVG here, you'll have a likelihood that it will try to take out new highs, which it basically did, but then it reversed again what it was here. Oh, I also wanted to show you. So it took out, so it got this trade right here at 1322 because we are in this wick area, right? So I took this trade, and remember how I was telling you. So the original stop loss would be here, below this mark 3 right here. But once first TP executed, which was here, the runner stop loss moves to break even. And that's what we have it marked here. Let me see. Yeah, we moved it to break even. And actually it was supposed to move here because we're marked we want to trail by pivots, but it didn't. Let me see, maybe it will. Um, but anyways, no, it didn't. I'll have to look into that. But it was usually it does trail because we have a pivot here, or maybe there wasn't a pivot. No, these are equal, so that's why it didn't advance it to here. Let me see if we have another example, just so I could show how that trail works. Right there, see? Um, and she was right here. We've got our first TP here, but our break even was at this level. It was, let's say this was 22719. That's our break even was. That's where break even was. But the stop loss got executed on this level because it moved that a little bit. It moved by the pivot. But anyway, so yeah, you could see it for yourself in action. I'm just trying to explain how that worked. So that's the idea of that hourly setup. And going back to the settings, so for that hourly, there's you'll have to select enable HTF filter, and you want to select 60 minutes, and then only these settings that pertain to this hourly strategy. Only these are whatever is below enable HTF consecutive momentum, which is enable HTF wick zone filter. That's what it's called. Zone wick filter. We're saying, hey, we want minimum wick and higher time frame to be 9 points. Maximum wick we want 160 points. That's what I have it here. Then we have a proximity in points. So we want to have um, allows the FVG to be slightly below the HTF close for longs and above for shorts. So it says basically it's where the FVG um, occurs in that week on hourly time frame. So if you don't want FVG forms at the very high mark of a week on a higher time frame, right? Because you're at the very top. You want to have it lower, let's say. Now um, this just how bar is going to. You want to specify what bar, like contrary, like a long bar for short bar. You can see there. Now, if you want to filter out to have mark 3 be below, let me see. So let's, it took the trade somewhere. Okay. So we're saying this 1116 and these are levels, which is 22823 and you 228. So you see this bar closes 22810, but our FVG was 228. 823. So this is where it was. See how its FVG was not lower than this bar closes. That the Mark III would require to FVG the lower third to be less than where the bar closes on HTF. So it was 210 and this was 2815. See how this Mark III is a 22815, but this bar closes 22811, which is lower than this bar. But we would say, hey, I want to filter out, I want to this number 3 to touch this bar, the close of this bar, and that's why you would want to have that that setting on HTF. Basically, it would tell you, hey, I don't want HTFs to be on the high part of the wick. You want to be close as possible to where the bar closes on HTF. Then you want to remove dojis. And also if you want to specify like that NQ stat says, within 20 minutes it will be you get a higher chance, you would indicate it here. You would mark this boolean and say, hey, within 20 minutes expire that bar, basically. Let's see if it's going to have another trade. Yeah, this one again, 1249, and it happened within, this is 12-hour bar, and it happened within this wick, basically. and that's the settings for it. Yeah, so it correctly took that trade, executed base, and there was a stop loss at break even. So basically we made money on this trade as well. So yeah, so this is a massive update to the strategy and to the indicator, and this is 4th of July. Uh, I'm I'm currently running it on. I have an update, but I'm running it on. Oh man, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm running it on 8.15.1, and I think this is a new update. I need to update it to. So yeah, go ahead to tradinghabitually.com. There is a 2-week trial for this strategy, and yeah, it's highly configurable. And if you have any questions, you can write me. You can send me just write me an email. And if you want to have maybe a specific integration or something specific to the strategy done, let me know. I am open to consider it. Um, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.